Hey, it's your boy, Sergeant Hook on Hand Shins. So today we are reviewing Avataro Sentai DonBrothers, episode 7. So this was another really good episode. What I've liked in like the last two, three episodes almost, is we've gotten a lot of not only backstory on our characters, like our team, but also a lot of good lore building and world building on the brain persons, what are they, cerebrons or whatever they're called. Um, and just in general, how everything's working out, like the stuff with Kaito, Kaito Black and the administrator and the points and all that, what's going on there, very interesting. Just in general, they're really starting to like fill out certain details, and I really like that. Yeah, I'm just really happy Inui's back. Honestly, I watched Jetman, of course, before. I love Jetman, and I watched things here and there of seasons he's written, and I like him as a writer. He's an absolute like psychopath sometimes of what he does, but he writes good stories and great characters. But yeah, so this week's episode was really, really good. Again, mainly focused on kind of on Haruka again, who's kind of like our main character, like our audience, sub-in character type of thing. And she needs a substitute teacher at school. And so at first it is Saruhara, Sour Brother basically comes in and he's the teacher. And we get this whole sequence where he's just basically bullshitting the entire thing because he's never taught before and he's never really had a job. And so they're going on and on about like, what is it that you do? And he's like, I don't have a job. Well, how do you make money? I don't even have money. And he says, the money is really gross. And I remember I've only ever held a 100 yen coin in my hand once. And I remember I held it and was so grossed out by it, it sounded like it squished as I dropped it from my hand. Like, bro, relax. He does another haiku again, of course, because that's just Sour Brothers thing. And he gets into a decent thing, though, where he's trying to teach them about imagination and the power of their imagination, which is interesting, except I don't know if high schoolers are really thinking much about their imagination unless they're like writers, or I guess in Haruka's case, a manga artist / writer or whatever. But it's still interesting. He's up there like acting like he's eating food, and they're like, oh, I see it. And it changes to look like he's actually eating real food. And he does it with them as well. Like one person is like he sees that there's just two people that clearly like each other, and he's like, oh, I don't want to say anything about that. They clearly have feelings for each other. One other student is having sushi and then like has like a little bit too much wasabi and it's too spicy, too extra tea. Really kind of funny, ridiculous sequence. But then, and of course, comes Momoitaro. He was told by his package company to come there, and the principal asked that company to send somebody there to teach. And so he just comes in and goes, my name's Momoitaro. I work at a delivery business. I bring people packages, which brings them happiness. That's pretty much it. And he goes to leave. I like how fucking literal Motaro is. Like, he's just like, okay, I'll go teach. And they never told him what to teach, apparently, or something. And so he just, like, taught the few things that he knows about his job, and that's it. So it's really, really, really interesting. The Sentai Oni for this episode, Hitotsuoki, whatever it's called, is one of the teachers, or the principal, actually, who is, like, a strict, like, by the rules thing, and it's a 5-man, I think, Sentai Oni, which I've never watched, but I think most of them are teachers or students or something, maybe. I don't remember. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But so that's the Sentai Oni in behind the scenes. Yeah, so that's the main part of it is those, people, those three interacting with each other. We also get Inu brother between different scenes here and there in the background with his glasses on chasing down the monster. He keeps becoming invisible and turning, visible and everything, and he keeps trying to find it throughout the episode. So does Kiji brother, sees it too, and he's going after it. They don't ever see each other transform, but we're getting close. Again, I'm sure they'll eventually reveal themselves to each other. They're not going to go the whole series and they'll never not see each other, like everybody know who everybody is. They'll eventually do it. It's going to get there. So we get that going on as they're at the school. And basically, Sour Brother and Momoitaro just like arguing over how to teach the kids, and the kids not even listening to them at all. And randomly, this goofy student is like, do you have a girlfriend? Momoitaro, and he's like, no. And she's like, oh, okay. What color are your underwear? And it's like, why is a high school student asking that? But then I think there are many high school students and younger girls that are interested in older guys. So like, it's not okay, but like, it makes sense in the way of like, it's a thing that happens. So she asks him, and he's like, and he turns around, and he looks, he goes, peach colored. Of course. And Haruka tries to stand up for him a little bit and is like, hey, like, you don't have to answer that question. She's clearly being rude. And before she can even finish her sentence, the other students around her are like, oh, shut up, plagiarist. And it's like, okay, would that really stick around that long? It's like a thing. Like, I get that she maybe plagiarized the story, except she didn't. So, like, it's getting a little goofy why that matters so much to them. I don't know. It's all right. It's just like I want her to eventually move past that and not have to worry about that as much. But anyway, so pretty good character interactions there. They finally get confronted by the monster, the Santaioni, the 5-man monster of the week. And he ends up sealing the students away in different like rule posters on the wall, and brings the DonBrothers all together into where he's at, right? So they're all transformed or whatever. And the DonBrothers also sentient, come up by Inu brother and Kiji brother and transform them and send them to where they're at. So anyway, they're all there, and it's goofy because Kiji brother, the way he's sitting, all of a sudden looks short, but he's not. He's actually leaned back with his legs like this. He just looks short. When he stands up, he's fine. So they're all in like a classroom basically in these chairs. And the posters are in front of him, the rule posters. In those are the souls of the trapped kids. And he sets them on fire and says, once these burn up, they're gone. These kids are dead. We're done. And they're like, whoa, oh my God, stop. And so they're trying to stop and figure out different ways. And of course, each one of them is, in some goofy way is, getting their ass handed to them sort of by the monster. Some rule that they're breaking and he's not letting them do certain things. He tells Sour Brother sit up straight and like kicks his ass anyway. Some stuff to Haruka. He just doesn't like dogs or pheasants. So he kicks Inu brother and Kiji brother for no reason. And then he tries to like have control over or try to, exert control over Taro. And he's just doing the whole ha 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 ha, with the fan thing. And he like goes to attack me. He stops him with like one finger and like kicks his ass a little bit, and that brings him to where they fight. We do get a fun scene though where Haruka and Sour Brother try to confront Momotaro why he's always trying to beat the shit out of them, basically. And he mentions that, oh, that's not what's happening. I'm trying to train you to see if you guys are worthy of being able to follow me as my companions. And they're like, well, is that really what you should do to like friends or to whatever strangers? And he's like, but you guys are my companions. So I like that. Like he does kind of see them as friends, but he also wants to like test them to see if they're like strong enough to stand with him against the threat that they're going up against. So I really like that. It's interesting and goofy, and I'm sure it'll be padded out as we go with more story bits, but I do like that motivation piece to it. So we get them all transformed. They're fighting. No Avataro changes this week, except for their normal DonBrothers suits. But I think Sonoe, so there's Sonoe, Sonoza, and Sononi. Sonoe and Sonoza sit this out, but Sononi and Sonoza sit this out, but Sonoe comes in and fights down Momotaro with a pretty well choreographed fight. It was actually pretty good. They fight together, they're doing their thing, and they're talking about how like the DonBrothers bother them, and they just want to study humans, and blah, 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 blah. And so they have a pretty good fight. He, of course, Momotaro becomes his tiny self, the little alter robot form or whatever, and kicks his ass pretty much, and then also fights the monster. They do the the finisher attack, and they destroy the monster. They do, so it frees the person and saves them, saves them instead of killing them like when the brain persons do it. Brain person, of course, retreats, which that's starting to get old. Can they stick around a little longer, tell us what they're doing, something like that. And right afterwards, he's like, well, you know what it's time for? And they're like, oh no. He's like, it's time to fight. And so he just already starts to like go fight everybody. So overall, a pretty quick-paced episode. I would say it's probably the fastest-paced of the episodes we've had so far. A really good moments between the characters. I really like how we're starting to eke out details more and more about Taro. I still am going to run with my theory that I think he's either full or half Celebran or like brain persons, basically, whatever higher plane of existence they're from. I think he's from there too, or whoever he's related to is from there, and he's either part human or just in general from there. Because the way that he deals with human interactions is unlike a normal human would, unless they were like maybe on the spectrum perhaps, which I don't even know if that's still a PC term, but still if they would like didn't understand social cues and were just really socially awkward, maybe. But the way he interacts with people very much comes across as like almost like a computer that doesn't understand emotions and stuff and has to be taught, just like the brain person. Spinoza wants to learn how to laugh. He doesn't know what he's doing. The one wants to know about relationships. The other one wants to know about love. Like, they all want to understand certain things about humanity. I feel like Taro is all of that plus more, and he's even more human than they are, but I do feel like he possibly is from wherever they're from. Like I said, really good team interactions. Next week, though, is going to get spicy, because we're finally going to follow up on that whole thing where Miho, which is Tsuyoshi Kijino, Kiji brother's wife, and whatever her name is when she's with Tsubasa, with Inu brother, that's being dealt with in some way. It shows them like next to each other side by side in two shots, so that's somehow being talked about a little bit more. I have some theories. I don't know if it's maybe like a twin sister thing, or maybe when she was with Inu brother, maybe she was with him for a while before she ever met Kiji brother, and then whoever took her away wiped her memory, and that's when she met, I'm sorry, when she was with Inu brother, and then that's when she met Kiji brother, and then got married. I don't know exactly. I know it's going to be heartbreaking if it's the same person, because of how much Kiji brother adores his wife and wouldn't ever think that she would be capable of doing something like that. And I'm sure it's going to hurt Inu brother as well. Not that he's like, because he's less of a wife guy and just more of like he does love his girlfriend. Finding out that she's not faithful is probably going to hurt him too. And I hope it doesn't set them to clash with each other for too long, just because they haven't even seen each other untransformed and transformed yet. Like they hardly even know all their identities yet. So maybe that'd be something to follow up on a little bit later. But we'll see how it develops. Like I said, overall, really fun episode. I love the character interactions. The Momotaro Razan is everything. It's always in my head. That theme song. But overall, really good. Like nice plot of the week, nice monster suit of the week. Really good little backstory pieces for the characters. Interactions with each other was really good, and having it set inside the school was really good for the plot, honestly, and actually helped the plot breathe a lot. So overall, really liked it. I probably would give it probably a strong 9 out of 10. Only I would have given it a perfect score if we would have gotten a bit more with Inu brother and Kiji brother having more to do with the episode than they had. But other than that, really entertaining and a lot of fun to watch. Like the whole show has been so far. I'm really enjoying it. So, let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this week's episode of DonBrothers. Did you guys like it? Did you hate it? In the middle? What is your theories about what's going on with the dual girlfriends thing with Inu brother and Kiji brother? What's going on with Moitaro? Is he a Celebrands or not? Is he a Brain Persons or not? Whatever. And what do you guys maybe think is going to maybe come up plot-wise for the next few episodes? As far as content on the channel this week, I did also review Revice episode 31, so that should be up by the time this is recorded. And I'm hoping to do maybe some Toku Toy views this week, if not maybe next week with a few things that I have. But if you guys have comments below of what other videos you'd like to see, maybe like some favorite scenes from certain Toku series, or favorite characters, or topics you want me to talk about within that genre, even Power Rangers related or even Digimon related, let me know in the comments below. It's open forum there to let me know what you guys would like for content. But thank you so much for watching today. Thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting, all that good stuff, sharing. I really appreciate it. But until next time, stay hooked on henshins. All right. Bye-bye.